Good evening and welcome. You're watching Express News, where we bring you a quick wrap-up of everything that made news throughout the day from around the world. I'm Samriddhi Goel. Let's begin. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. JAISHANKAR, who is on a visit to Israel, met his Israeli counterpart Yair Lapid today. Both the leaders agreed on mutual recognition of the COVID-19 vaccination certificates. The foreign ministers decided at a meeting to resume negotiations on FTA between the two countries as early as November. Dr. S. JAISHANKAR also thanked Israel for joining the International Solar Alliance. Earlier, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. JAISHANKAR unveiled a plaque at the Jerusalem forest in Israel commemorating the BHOODAN groove planted by Sarvodaya workers in 1960. He emphasized that India-Israel relations have many facets and many contributors. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. JAISHANKAR also paid homage to the victims of the Holocaust at Yad Vashem in Israel and said the memorial is testimony to the human spirit of resilience. JAISHANKAR said that the Holocaust Memorial strengthens our resolve to fight the evil. Heavy rains have been battering Kerala, triggering landslides and floods which have left many dead and wreaked havoc across Pathanam, Thita, Kottayam and Idukki districts. Now, floods have triggered by heavy rains have led to loss of life and property and have also in fact brought normal life to a halt even as the death toll climbs to 26. In Uttarakhand, a red alert warning of heavy to very heavy rain has been issued at isolated places. In view of the weather warning, the state government has directed all district administrations to remain on an alert mode. The administrations of Uttarkashi, Chamoli and Rudraprayag have been told to be extra careful as the Char Dham Yatra is underway in these districts. Lahore, Spiti district in Himachal Pradesh and upper reaches of Badrinath in Uttarakhand received snowfall today. According to the IMD, mercury has dropped in the district, especially in Pipalkoti, Ghat, Pokhari areas, including district headquarter Gopeshwar. The areas at the higher altitude have also received a snowfall. BJP office bearers meeting was held at the party headquarters in New Delhi. BJP General Secretaries, National Secretaries, Vice President and Morcha chiefs, along with national spokespersons, attended the meeting, which was chaired by Party President JP Nadda. The upcoming assembly elections in 5 states was discussed in the meet, among other issues. The BJP has slammed the Congress, alleging that its leader Tariq Hamid Kara had claimed that Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel colluded with Muhammad Ali Jinnah to keep Kashmir out of India. The second edition of the Naval Commanders Conference of 2021 commenced at New Delhi today. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh addressed the Naval Commanders during the inaugural session and interacted with them on matters pertaining to national security. The conference is attended by all operational and area commanders of the Indian Navy to review major operational activities. The Union Home Minister Amit Shah presided over the National Security Strategy Conference through video conferencing to discuss the prevailing security situation in the country. DGPs of the states, Inspector Generals, selected field officers of the rank of SP and Inspector Generals, heads of Central Police Forces, intelligence agencies and police organizations are participating in the closed-door conference. Army Chief General M.M. Naravane is on a 2-day visit to Jammu Kashmir, wherein the GOC of the White Knight Corps will give the update on the security situation and operational preparedness of the army. The army chief will also visit the forward areas and interact with troops and commanders on ground. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Kushinagar International Airport in Uttar Pradesh on Wednesday. The inauguration of the Kushinagar Airport will facilitate the pilgrims from across different parts of the world by providing seamless connectivity to various Buddhist sites in the region. Union Minister for Chemical and Fertilizer Mansukh Mandavia has announced that the centre has increased subsidy on fertilizers to benefit farmers so as to enable them to purchase fertilizers at the same rate despite the hike in their prices in the international market. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal is on a 2-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir to participate in various programs aimed at development of the region. The Jammu and Kashmir government today signed an MOU with the government of Dubai for real estate, development, industrial parks, IT towers, logistics and more. The Union Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, MOS Civil Aviation General Dr. V.K. Singh, along with Secretary in the Ministry of Civil Aviation, virtually flagged off 6 routes expanding the aerial connectivity of Northeast India. With these new flights, travellers from Guwahati, Aizawl and Shillong will get multiple options for onward connectivity to the rest of the country. Dera Sacha Sauda head Gurmeet, RAHIM Singh and 4 others have been sentenced to life imprisonment in the murder of manager Ranjit Singh nearly 2 decades ago. He will also pay a 31 lakh rupee fine. Earlier this month, the special CBI court in Haryana's Panchkula found all 5 guilty. Union Minister Jitendra Singh has said that India's future growth depends on science-driven economy. Addressing the interactive session in New Delhi at the inaugural session of AZADI ka AMRIT MAHOTSAV week organized by the Ministry of Earth Sciences, the minister said that the Prime Minister's vision and his stature as the world's most popular leader has accorded an extraordinary esteem to India, which was never forthcoming in the earlier decades. BJP-backed Samajwadi Party candidate NITIN Agarwal was elected as the Deputy Speaker of the Uttar Pradesh Assembly, defeating Narendra Verma, the official candidate of Akhilesh Yadav's party, by 244 votes. While Agarwal backed 304 votes, Verma got 60 votes in the polling held inside the Assembly premises through ballot paper. UIDAI is hosting a hackathon titled AADHAAR Hackathon 2021 targeted at young innovators who are still at various engineering institutes and eager to step into the real world. The hackathon is starting on 28th of October and would continue till 31st of October 21. Now, the winners of each theme would be rewarded by UIDAI through prize money and other lucrative benefits. Union Minister Rajeev Chandrasekhar today visited the Centre for Development of Advanced Computing, that is C-DAC in Bengaluru, and the minister launched the Indus Internet of Things IoT Self-Learning Kit. The 30-share Sensex rallied 460 points to end at fresh all-time high of 61,766. The 50-share Nifty surged 139 points to record 18,477. Gold prices on Monday were trading marginally higher, the MCX to close at 47,223 rupees per 10 gram. Silver prices were also up by 52 rupees at the MCX to end at 63,323 per kilogram. The Indian rupee slipped 9 paise to end at 75.35 provisional against US dollar. The oil prices hit their highest in years as demand continues its recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, boosted by more custom from power generators turning away from expensive gas and coal to fuel oil and diesel. US West Texas Intermediate crude futures climbed 1.12 US dollars or 1.4% to 83.40 US dollars a barrel, highest since October 2014. Crude oil also traded 131 rupees or 2.12% higher to close at 6,300 rupees. Petrol and diesel prices remained unchanged on Monday after reaching their highest levels on Sunday. Petrol is selling now at 105.84 rupees per litre in the capital, while diesel is selling at 94.57 rupees per litre in Delhi. Today is the last day to apply for Specialist Cadre Officer in the State Bank of India. The SBI is currently conducting a recruitment drive for the appointment of over 606 candidates. The European shares opened lower on Monday as surging commodity prices added to fears around a burgeoning energy crisis, while weak data from China kept concerns around slowing economic growth alive. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has exceeded 97.79 crore as per provisional reports till 7 a.m. today. Now, this has been achieved through 96,88,300 sessions. The recovery of 19,582 patients in the last 24 hours has increased the cumulative tally of recovered patients since the beginning of the pandemic to 3,34,39,331. Consequently, India's recovery rate stands at 98.12% and the recovery rate is currently at its highest peak since March 2020. Less than 50,000 daily new cases that is being reported from 113 consecutive days now. 13,596 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. Daily new cases reported to be the lowest in 230 days now. The active caseload has fallen below 2 lakh mark and is presently at 1,89,694, and this has been the lowest in 221 days. Active cases presently constitute 0.56% of the country's total positive cases. The last 24 hours saw a total of 9,89,493 tests being conducted, and India has so far conducted over 59.19 crore cumulative tests. Weekly positivity rate is at 1.37%, remains less than 3% for the last 115 days now, and the daily positivity rate was reported to be 1.37%. The daily positivity rate has remained below 3% for the last 49 days and below 5% for 132 consecutive days now. More than 24 crore 14 lakh people have been infected by the coronavirus so far across the country. Over 21 crore 87 lakh have recovered from the virus so far globally. The number of total fatalities due to the COVID-19 has surpassed 49 lakh 14,000 worldwide. The United States continues to be the worst affected country by the COVID-19 pandemic. Over 4 crore 57 lakh people in the country have so far been infected by COVID-19, and more than 7 lakh 44,000 people have died in the US due to the virus. Russia has been witnessing a surge in the new daily COVID-19 cases with 34,303 new cases. The country reported a record high number of new infections on Sunday. Russia also reported 997 deaths yesterday. Paris Marathon, one of the highly awaited events in France, saw around 35,000 runners participating on Sunday. The event was cancelled last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In Melbourne, the government has decided to lift restrictions on leaving home and night curfew from the 22nd of October. In Switzerland, several cities saw hundreds of people marching in protest on the streets against the government's COVID-19 policies and the resulting measures imposed. The protesters are particularly opposed to the recent imposition of a COVID certificate requirement to enter indoor areas, including restaurants and cafes. Ali Harbi Ali, the son of an ex-media advisor to the former Prime Minister of Somalia, has been arrested by the British police under anti-terrorism laws following the killing of lawmaker David Amis. Prime Minister Boris Johnson's Conservative Party late leader Amis was knifed repeatedly as he met constituency voters in a church on October 15 in Leh-on-Sea. Syria is expected to soon have a new constitution since the government and opposition co-chairs of the Syrian Constitutional Committee had agreed to start the drafting process. The details were shared by the United Nations Special Envoy for Syria that said the committee comprises 45 representatives of Syria's government, opposition and civil society. With Hungary parliamentary election due next year, political situation in the country has started creating a buzz. The chair of the Venezuelan opposition negotiating team has urged the government to resume talks at the earliest after President Nicolas Maduro's administration suspended talks this weekend. Maduro's government suspended the conversations after its envoy Alex Saab was extradited to the United States from Cape Verde on Saturday on money laundering charges. The US has also imposed sanctions on Saab for allegedly orchestrating a corruption network that Washington says allowed Saab and Maduro to profit from a state-run food subsidy program. Former Ivory Coast President Laurent Gbagbo has vowed to continue in politics until his death. On Sunday, he launched a new party that comes with months after his acquittal by the International Criminal Court. Gbagbo, who is the president from 2000 to 2011, returned to Ivory Coast in June after being acquitted in 2019 by the Netherlands-based court on war crime charges. In El Salvador, at least 4,000 people took to the streets to air a range of complaints against President Nayib Bukele, from adopting Bitcoin as legal tender to firing Supreme Court judges. A Spanish Coast Guard vessel has rescued 44 migrants in the Atlantic Ocean and took them to the port in Gran Canaria. The body of a dead migrant was also brought ashore with the group. Former United States President Bill Clinton has been discharged from a Southern California hospital, and he was admitted last week for a urological infection. Now, it has been 4 weeks since eruption of the Camber Vieja volcano on Spain's La Palma Island. When it began, lava was streaming down the slopes, keeping street cleaners busy removing accumulated ash on roads. Spurting lava and huge clouds of smoke and ash continue to disrupt the movement of flights around La Palma airport. Spain has come up with a crying room which aims to remove the stigma in society attached to mental health, crying and seeking help. Phones are placed in one corner with the names of people visitors can call when they are feeling down. The signboards in this place read enter and cry, I too have anxiety, among others. In Japan, performers balancing long bamboo poles arrayed with paper lanterns displayed their skills in front of Akita Station. The performance is usually held every year in August as the annual Akita Kanto Festival. The event this year was held on a smaller scale with about 30 performances tested for the virus and wearing a face shield. An Indonesian cafe is jumping on the bandwagon of global Squid Game craze by recreating some of the games played in the Netflix drama in its cafe space. In a dark room, patrons are greeted by staff dressed like the army in 9-part thrillers, holding toy guns and ushering them towards the end of the room, where the red light, green light game starts immediately. Shouting out commands in Korean, the staff immerse themselves as the drama characters, while patrons willingly compete in the game that features no prizes. Over 200 customers visit Cafe Strawberry daily, drawn by the games replicated from the drama and to try food like the Dalgona candy made popular by the hit series. Drone footage gives a unique view of what the statue of Horatio Nelson looks out on from London's Trafalgar Square on a grey autumn morning. Erected in 1843, the statue is one of London's most famous landmarks, commemorating Nelson's victory over the French at the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. The statue is approximately 170 feet high, looking straight down Whitehall towards the Parliament. The statue has watched over a spectacular transformation of London's skyline as the country transitioned from the early Industrial Revolution to the age of the Internet. Passengers in Paris's metro stations may ignore the buskers playing instruments and singing popular tunes, but such a jig is highly coveted by many musicians in France seeking to boost their artistic careers. Clinching a spot to play at Bastille, Gare de Lyon, or in one of the many stations in the city's sprawling transport system, which serves more than 4 million commuters daily, is not a simple feat. French country musician Philippe Pinot recently came to Paris for an audition. The 53-year-old artist is among the more 1,000 performers vying to be in the list of 300 people who will be granted permits to play. Japan's Princess Mako has attended a ceremony at the Imperial Palace. Now, it was the last ritual ceremony the princess attended as a member of the imperial family before her marriage later this month. The eldest daughter of Crown Prince and Princess Akishino left the Akasaka estate in a car with her sister, Princess Kaku. Princess Mako waved and bowed to reporters and passers-by when the car drove through the Hanzomon gate into the palace. Princess Mako is set to marry former college classmate Kumuro Kei on October 26. She will lose her imperial status and become a commoner. The old airport in the Siberian settlement of Churapcha has been unusable for years. Its runway transformed into a swampy field of puffed up mounds and reliefs like cities and towns across northern and northeastern Russia. Churapcha is suffering the consequence of climate change, thawing the permafrost on which everything is built. As Russia warms 2.8 times faster than the global average, the melting of Siberia's long-frozen tundra is releasing greenhouse gases that scientists fear could frustrate global efforts to curb climate warming emissions. India will begin their preparations for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup with a warm-up match against England on Monday, October 18th at the ICC Academy ground in Dubai. Both India and England have formidable squads at their disposal. Despite it being a warm-up fixture, one can expect both the sides to come out all guns blazing. In T20 Cricket World Cup, Scotland stunned fancy Bangladesh by 6 runs after Chris Greaver's magnificent all-round display for a dream start in the ICC T20 World Cup on an eventful Sunday night in Oman. Bangladesh's Shakib Al Hasan has become the highest wicket-taker in men's T20Is when he dismissed Scotland's Michael Lisk in his side's opening match of the T20 World Cup 2021. He overtook Lasith Malinga's tally of 107 wickets. Tottenham Hotspur spoiled Newcastle United's takeover celebrations after claiming a 3-2 victory at St James Park on Sunday. Tanguy Ndombele, Harry Kane and Song Heung-min all scored in the first half. Cameron Norrie became the first Briton to win the Indian Wells title when he fought back from a set and a breakdown to beat Nicolos Basilashvili. Norrie won 3-6, 6-4, 6-1 against the Georgian to seal one of the biggest titles in tennis. Paula Badosa survived a stiff challenge from Victoria Azarenka to produce a gutsy 7-6, 2-6, 7-6 win in the Indian Wells Championship match. Badosa becomes the first Spanish woman to win the tournament in the California desert. Ansu Fati scored 1 goal and won a penalty for another in his first start in nearly a year as Barcelona returned to winning ways by beating Valencia 3-1 at Camp Nou. Jose Gaya opened the scoring in the 5th minute with a stunning strike from distance. Bayern Munich scored 5 goals in the first half as they thrashed third-place Bayer Leverkusen 5-1 to return to the top of the Bundesliga. Robert Lewandowski scored twice in the opening 30 minutes. A day before Greece was set to light the Olympic flame for the Beijing Winter Olympics, Tibetan and Hong Kong activists protested on Greece's Acropolis on Sunday, alleging human rights violations by China. T20 Cricket World Cup's first match at the group stage was played between Oman and Papua New Guinea today, where Oman won by 10 wickets at the Al Amirat Cricket Ground. Jatinder Singh hit Oman's first 50 of the tournament with a 6. Actor Ayushmann Khurrana said he feels happy to be a part of films that deliver important messages. His film Badhai Ho, which completed 3 years on Monday, is one among them, he said. Rajkumar Rao starrer Shahid also completed 8 years on Monday, and fan celebrities shared their best wishes for the movie. Silambarasan TR's film Manadu with director Venkat Prabhu, which was scheduled to release on November 4th, will now release on November 25th. Netflix's Squid Game has garnered $900 million since its release on September 17, and the 9-part series has become Netflix's biggest release. Hollywood star Dwayne Johnson has treated his fans by sharing the first official look of his upcoming film Black Adam at DC Fandom event. American hit series Doom Patrol has been renewed for a 4th season at HBO Max. Filmmaker Patty Jenkins of Wonder Woman film franchise fame, along with actor Linda Carter, has confirmed that Wonder Woman 3 is still on the works. DC has given fans a first look at the concept art for their live-action Batgirl feature, although the movie hasn't begun production yet. Filmmaker Joel Coen makes his solo directing debut with an aesthetic and dreamlike adaptation of William Shakespeare's The Tragedy of Macbeth. And the Rome Film Festival welcomed actor Johnny Depp to its red carpet on Sunday for the screening of animated web series Puffins, in which he has led his voice. Well, that's all in this edition of Express News. Do stay tuned to DD India for the latest news and updates. Thanks for watching.